the major aspect, or the major customary norm, or the belief that people in that society have, or the men, the husbands, is that a woman should not use contraceptives. So they are trying to actually open the window for the woman to give birth to as many kids as possible.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to this conversation. My name is Bridget Akamanya. I work with Restless Development in the programs department. Restless Development is an organization that puts young people at the forefront of change. Its mission is to put young people at the forefront of change. In short, what I mean is that at the heart of everything that is done at Restless Development, it is the young people. And how does it do this? Through the different projects in education and livelihoods, gender and social norm transformation, the climate change, and sexual reproductive health. Actually, under the sexual reproductive health, it's where the project that I support directly is, and that is the She Sows project, which gives young girls an opportunity to access sexual reproductive health rights through its components of intergenerational dialogues, which are conducted at household levels, the social analysis and action, which is done at the community level, and at the end of it all, they get action plans which they implement within their communities. Then the BCC outreaches, or the behavioral change and communication. With me in studio is my colleague David. Let me welcome him to introduce himself and talk about the project that has actually been working on. Thank you very much. Welcome, David.
Thank you so much, Bridget. My name is Nakibinge David Matovu, and I'm a graduate legal trainee working with the Public Interest Law Clinic of Makerere Law School and Restless Development. I've been working on a project that has been funded by the Danish Institute for Human Rights, and the role as a graduate trainee, I was identified by the Public Interest Law Clinic and placed in Arua City under Restless Development to actually carry out the work under the project theme of strengthening access to justice for vulnerable people, and also monitoring the human rights situation in Arua City. The project, the main focus of the project, like I said, is strengthening access to justice for vulnerable people. And so we've been doing community work, engaging in community dialogues, identifying victims of gender-based violence, helping them seek justice, and other aspects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. So now that you've told us about who you are, can you take us through the objectives of the Arua City project that you are working on?
Yes, the objectives of the project were actually to identify the loopholes when it comes to strengthening access to justice and also monitoring the human rights situation in the area. Because the institute, the Danish Institute for Human Rights, actually strengthens human rights situations in their work. Their work is human rights based. So while working in Arua City, I picked more interest in the customary norms of the area, and I wanted to be the main point of discussion because carrying out the various activities, the community dialogues, reaching out to stakeholders, benchmarking from other organizations, I found this to be the major point of interest when it comes to access to justice. How are the customary norms limiting people's access to justice in that society? And we understand that Arua City or West Nile hosts the majority number of refugees. We actually have Bidi, which as of 2020 was hosting around 270,000 refugees, South Sudanese refugees. And that's a really huge number. It's considered to be one of the major refugee hosting settlements in the world. So refugees come in with their practices, of course, because where they come from, they have their beliefs and customs. However, when they come to Uganda, they continue to practice those customary norms. And now, at that point, they are part of Uganda. So in carrying out our activities, we want to assess what is the impact of customary norms on limiting access to justice for vulnerable people. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, David. You've talked about customary norms, but our viewers would like to know what the customary norms are in this context.
In this context, customary norms, every society has traditional beliefs and customs. Even the developed countries we admire also at one point, they had to adopt the customary norms they had and codify them into law. So every society has customary beliefs and traditions. So, but then the major point of interest is how we handle them. Different countries handle their traditions differently. For example, in the UK, almost 80% of their laws are unwritten. They are just following customs. In Denmark, where the Danish Institute for Human Rights is, they actually have that component of unwritten laws. It's called jet something. It's pronounced in their language, but they are trying to tell you that we have this. It is the unwritten law. We also have, it's still in Denmark, they have the law of Jetland, that law of around 1241, where it was at one point unwritten. Now it is written. It is the oldest written law of Denmark. But at one point, they were just following customs until they reached a point and they were like, let us codify them into one statute or one law that we can actually follow. So in this context, customary norms are traditional beliefs of society, and each culture has their own customary beliefs and customary norms. Article 37 of the 1995 Constitution actually allows everyone to practice their right to culture. So talking about culture, however, these customary norms must be practiced, putting in mind that they should not be repugnant to principles of natural justice and human rights. They should meet the supremacy test under the Constitution, the supremacy test which is under Article 2 of the Constitution. So if these customs actually violate any provision of the Constitution, then they are deemed to be discriminatory. And they should not be practiced in society. The specific area we have been working, Arua City, the customary norms are grouped actually into, I managed to put in my head, and I think they can be grouped into 4. One can be around like gendered food taboos. Others are around gender-based violence, property ownership, and then sexual reproductive health rights. Yes.
Thank you very much, David. So from what you've said, simply, what I've understood from what you've said, it is to say that actually customary norms are the unwritten rules or unwritten laws in Arua City.
Yes, or in society.
In society.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for that. So how do they shape community behavior and decision making?
Each customary norm that actually violates human rights, in one way or another, they are intertwined. If you find a customary norm that violates, say, a woman's right to maybe use contraceptives, a woman's right to eat certain types of food or to own property, you find that they shape decision making in a way that women, being the majority stakeholders in society, they raise their families. And when you go to these societies, actually, it's the women doing most of the work. The men are treated like kings. The women are the ones who go to the garden. They are the ones who actually help in producing food for the family. They are the ones who, market day is always busy, and you always find there women. So in this society, if you try to undermine the majority stakeholder, the rights of the majority stakeholder, you're actually trying to affect the decisions that are made in that society. For example, you're limiting a woman to use contraceptives with the belief that in your custom, under your custom, that actually affects her fertility rate. Now you're giving her room to actually give birth to unplanned children, or to give birth to very many children without any planning. And yeah, that will affect the health of the children, it will affect their education status. So the literacy levels are also going down because of such customary practices.